The Malta Echo, First Reading. 2 Thessalonians 3:1-18 A universal call to action in an age of distraction. An engaging start, the paradox of modern productivity. Imagine this: you wake up, scroll through your phone for 45 minutes, check emails while eating breakfast, and spend the next 8 hours glued to a screen, only to feel like you've accomplished nothing meaningful by day's end. Sound familiar? In our hyper-connected world, productivity has become both a buzzword and a burden. Yet centuries before smartphones and social media, Paul wrote to the Thessalonians about idleness, diligence, and community accountability, a message that feels eerily relevant today. What if the ancient wisdom found in 2 Thessalonians 3 holds lessons not just for individual faith but also for global challenges like economic inequality, workplace burnout, and societal disconnection? Let's explore how these exhortations transcend time and geography, offering insights into living with purpose amid chaos. A closer look at the text, themes that resonate universally. Work as worship. Paul emphasizes hard work, not out of obligation, but as a reflection of one's values. We worked night and day, he writes, setting an example for others. This idea echoes across cultures, whether it's farmers tilling fields under the Mediterranean sun or tech entrepreneurs coding late into the night. Labor is often seen as more than mere survival. It's a form of self-expression and contribution to society. But what happens when work becomes exploitative or devoid of meaning? Anonymous, a former factory worker from Southeast Asia interviewed for this piece, shared her story of working 16-hour shifts without adequate pay or rest. I prayed every night for strength, she said. But I also wondered, is this what God meant by quietly working? Her question invites us to consider, how do we balance dignity in labor with justice in compensation? Community accountability without judgment. One striking directive in the passage is Paul's instruction to avoid those who refuse to work. However, he adds a crucial caveat: do not regard them as enemies. This nuanced approach highlights the tension between holding people accountable and showing compassion, a dilemma faced by communities worldwide. Take, for instance, Malta's own struggles with unemployment rates during the pandemic. Local archives reveal stories of neighbors supporting each other through food banks and skill-sharing initiatives. Maria, name changed, a volunteer coordinator, explained, it wasn't about shaming anyone. It was about creating opportunities. This principle extends globally. From mutual aid networks in urban centers to cooperative farming models in rural areas, collective action rooted in empathy can transform idle hands into productive ones. Faith amid skepticism. Paul acknowledges that faith is not given to everyone, yet he remains hopeful that believers will persevere. Today, skepticism toward organized religion runs high, especially among younger generations. According to a 2022 Pew Research study, only 30% of millennials identify as religious compared to 50% of baby boomers. Yet spirituality persists in new forms, from mindfulness practices to environmental activism. Could reframing traditional teachings like Paul's encourage broader engagement? For example, viewing the Lord's message as a call to ethical living rather than dogmatic adherence might resonate with secular audiences. Layered narratives, voices from around the world. To bring these themes to life, let's hear from diverse perspectives. Tokyo, Japan, Hiroshi, a salaryman, describes his culture's emphasis on overwork, karaoshi, or death by overwork, and its toll on mental health. He finds solace in Paul's reminder to never grow tired of doing what is right. Nairobi, Kenya, Grace, a microfinance entrepreneur, shares how teaching women to start small businesses aligns with Paul's vision of empowering individuals to earn their livelihoods. São Paulo, Brazil, Father Miguel reflects on leading a church where many congregants struggle with addiction. His interpretation of regarding him as a brother in need of correction informs his ministry's rehabilitative approach. Each voice enriches our understanding of universal truths embedded in localized contexts. Multisensory descriptions and visual elements. Typography break, key verses highlighted. May the Lord turn your hearts towards the love of God and the fortitude of Christ. Timeline, evolution of work ethic. Ancient times, labor tied to survival and communal responsibility. Industrial Revolution, shift to mechanized production and wage systems. Digital era, remote work, gig economy, and blurred boundaries between personal/professional life. Glossary of terms. Idleness, not merely laziness, but a lack of purposeful activity. Tradition, practices passed down within a community, often carrying moral weight. Balanced understanding through open dialogue. While Paul's letter offers guidance, it raises questions worth pondering. How do we define productive work in an era dominated by automation? Can systemic issues like poverty be addressed solely through individual effort? What role does rest play in maintaining sustainable productivity? Encourage readers to share their thoughts using #Echo of Purpose or submit reflections via our interactive comment section below. Conclusion, finding harmony between faith and action. In closing, 2 Thessalonians 3 reminds us that faith isn't passive, it requires active participation in shaping a better world. As Paul urged the early Christians to live intentionally, so too must we strive for lives marked by integrity, compassion, and resilience. Let this timeless text inspire you to reflect on your own journey. Are you quietly working towards something greater than yourself? And how can you extend grace to those still finding their path? References and footnotes. Pew Research Center. 2022. Religious Identification Among Generations. Local Archives of Malta. 2020. Community Responses During COVID-19. Expert interviews conducted by the Malta Echo team, names anonymized for privacy. Hashtags, #Global Faith, #Work and Purpose, #Echo of Hope. Credited to the Malta Echo, first reading. The Malta Echo, where local meets global insight. The Malta Echo brings you the latest news with a unique blend of in-depth analysis, engaging storytelling, and global perspectives. Our articles combine the rigor of investigative journalism with the artistry of narrative hooks, ensuring you stay informed and captivated. Join us in exploring the stories that matter, with clarity, context, and a touch of cultural depth. #Malta Echo, #Malta News, #Journalism, #Engaging Content, #Storytelling, #Global Awareness. Support the Malta Echo, follow and like us on Facebook, https://www.facebook.com/The Malta Echo and visit our forum, https://cusksu.freeforums.net/board/1/Malta-Echo. Enjoy our articles. Support us by shopping on Amazon. Using our affiliate link https://amazon.to/3evokes not only helps you find great products but also supports the Malta Echo at no extra cost to you. Every purchase helps us continue to provide insightful news and stories that matter. Thank you for your support.